All right, everybody. I'm going to bring on my next guest, Zach. Is it Wyant?
Yeah, Zach Wyant, correct, in Texas.
Got you. Oh, so you're coming out of Texas?
Yeah.
You said it looks like you're at a baseball game.
I'm actually at the Ranger Blue Jays game as we speak, brother.
That's awesome, man. Took a little break to come do some dad talk, man. Tell us about some of the challenges that you've had this Father's Day.
I tell you what, the biggest challenge is the fact that all three of my children are adult children. And, you know, two of my daughters are married. My son's active military and gone. So just me and my wife, empty nesting. We do get to spend time with the grandchildren, which is nice. I got three grandsons, but they're all 3 and younger. So it's just kind of been a blah year this year for my personal struggles. But I'll tell you what, man, through the 30 years of being a dad, 31 years now, because my oldest is 31, the ups, the downs, it's all been worth it, brother. I mean, there's no more important thing that I've ever done in my life than be the father of the children that I have, and now the grandchildren that we're having. So it's been amazing. But that's the only struggle really that I've been dealing with is just the empty nest syndrome and the kids having their own lives. You know what I mean?
So you haven't been dealing with any family court issues or anything like that, like some of the other guys we've been talking to?
I have not, and that's why
Good.
I come online is just to let people know and give them hope. You know, I mean, I married the right woman. I've been married 32 years this September, and you know, we've had our problems. I almost lost it because of my infidelity 10 years ago, but through God and through, you know, humility and owning my mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I didn't blame anybody, bro. I owned my stuff, and that's what a lot of men need to hear is that if you own it and you get humble, reconciliation is possible if you want it. Because I'm living testimony of it, you know.
Oh man, I appreciate that so much, and you know, just being able to admit that. You know, let me ask you a question. When going through that can be a very hard time for a marriage. A lot of them don't make it. How did you put your marriage back together after that?
To be honest with you, one day at a time. I have a wife who loved me no matter what, and gave me a second chance first and foremost. But you know, I raised my kids, and we've all kind of grown up in church, and so we have a strong faith, and we leaned on that a lot, and we surrounded ourselves with people like-minded like that. But yeah, the humility, man. I mean, I had to eat some egg and walk around like a chump for quite a while because of friends and family that knew what I had done wrong in my marriage. But you know, time and humility, you can earn that respect back, and you can earn it all back. And right now, my marriage is better than it's ever been, bro.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
You know what? This Father's Day, you know, I've been getting everybody to give a little shout out to their kids. Is there something you'd like to say to your kids out there on Father's Day?
I think I'm the most proud dad in Texas because all three of my kids are amazing adults and they've married amazing spouses. And I'm really, really proud to have the opportunity to be part of it still, even though I had that problem with my marriage 10 years ago. I could have lost it all, man, but I still got it, and it's better than ever.
That's awesome, man. I'll tell you what, Zach, I'm going to let you get back to the game so I can get over to my next guest. But I appreciate you so much for stopping in and sharing that with us. And happy Father's Day to you.
You too, brother. Thanks, man. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. At this time, I'm going to bring in our next guest, Mr. Patrick. Patrick, what state are you coming out of?
California. I'm in San Luis Obispo, which is kind of like right smack dab between San Francisco and LA, sort of on the coast.
I got you, man. Tell us what's going on with you this Father's Day.
Oh, well, I'm not seeing my kids, which is a new thing. It's, yeah, I don't know. You know what? I'm not totally prepped to tell my story. So why don't you just tell me again what you want to hear? Like just what the latest is, like the quick journey of how I got to where I'm at. Cause I tell you, I'm going through some crazy stuff right now.
Yeah, man. I know it's hard to tell it in such a limited, you know, time.
I'll do the quick Cliff Notes version. So yeah, I've been divorced about 5 years. I have two daughters, 17 and 14 now. And it's been about like 5 or 6 years. And I swear it's, you know, my ex and I haven't been worse. I don't know why she's so bitter. Of course, we could have a whole nother discussion on that, but she's just been alienating me from my kids systematically over the last 5 years. I've only had 20% custody, so every other weekend and then one night a week for dinner. And they dance. Their life is dancing. They're competitive dancers. And one way that she's alienated me is because I can't afford all the dance we used to do, I tell her how much I can't afford, and then she goes and tells the girls that, like, oh, your dad doesn't support dance, blah 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 blah.
Okay.
That's
Yep.
just classic, right? So I mean, that's just one little thing how she's alienated them from me, and there's a million other things, but it's been really bad. My youngest, she's 14 now, has like this chronic. I mean, she has anxiety, but then she has some like bad hip issues because she dances so much. And anyways, my ex is blaming that all on me, like, and trying to like make it so she can't come over. Finally, and this is the crazy part, she's 4 months ago, she like made up this whole thing, and inferred like some. And again, I have 2 daughters. Inferred some sort of like inappropriateness with my girls, like, for instance, when my oldest takes a shower, because the steam's crazy, we like crack the door like a centimeter to let the steam out. And my ex like wrote up, well, Riley doesn't like taking a shower because he cracks the bathroom door when they take showers, and blah 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 blah. So she inferred all this stuff. So now I'm in this whole crazy court situation. God has a restraining order on me because of this, and haven't seen my girls in 4 months. And spent about $12,000 in lawyer fees in the last 3 to 4 months. If I didn't have a good friend network, I'd be homeless right now.
Man, dude, I hate to hear that. So you said you haven't seen her in about 4 months. How long have you been inside of the family courts?
Yeah, I haven't seen the girls in 4 months. She litigated on me last July to try and get more money out of me, and that didn't go well for me. So I'm like behind on all kinds of crazy back support and everything. So it's insane. It's I'm living a nightmare, man. I mean, it's a complete nightmare. It's hard to even work when you don't see your kids,
I definitely understand, man. It's all that's on your mind, and you want to do something. It seems like, though, if you don't have money, there's not much you can do. I think that's the way they designed it.
Yeah,
for sure.
And even then, I was supposed to have my day in court on Monday. We had all this evidence of how my ex has been blocking me for therapy with the girls. All these things. I've been asking for more therapy with my youngest, which is what this all revolves around. And nope, can't have therapy with her. She won't benefit from that. Blah 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 blah. And then the judge didn't even want to hear anything. He's like, I'm not going to have you guys tear apart each other in court. It's not going to change my mind that you have to have co-joint therapy until father can talk to kids again, which is what was assigned 3 months ago. But because we're in the state of California and it's a broken system, the therapists who were assigned it don't want to take it because they know they get beaten up in court by the other person's lawyer. So they're like, we're not doing this anymore. So the access to my kids doesn't exist.
Oh man, brother, I sure do hate to hear that. Patrick, I don't want to cut you short, but I got several gentlemen waiting for after you really quick, though. I've been doing this with everybody for Father's Day. Is there anything you'd like to say to your kids, man, before we get out of here?
Yeah, that I love them more than anything in the world. And I just reach out, please.
Absolutely. Hey, Patrick, thank you so much for coming on, man, and happy Father's Day to you, buddy.
Cheers.
Thanks, man. Bryce, what's going on,
mate? You all right?
Yeah.
All the way from the UK.
I hear it. What part of the UK?
You what, sorry?
I said, what part of the UK?
Portsmouth, South Hampshire.
Man, dude, I've heard some family court nightmares coming out of there. I'm assuming you got one yourself.
It's absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Heartbreaking. I ain't seen my daughter for 6 months now. We've been she said that so pretty much in January I got a new girlfriend, and I was seeing my daughter 4 times a month from when I split with my ex-partner. 4 times a week, sorry, not a month. And then back in January she stopped all contact because she found out I had a new partner, and now she's made some horrific allegations and stuff, and I've had to apply for court and everything. I had my first court hearing last week. There's a company in the UK that are called Kafkas, and they're like social services for children.
Okay.
that they put all their recommendations to the court and stuff, and they just take the mother's side. Absolutely terrible lies through their teeth. Um, yeah,
So, Bryce, it sounds like you got something similar that we hear all the time. This really started to escalate around the time that she found out you was with somebody else.
yep, that's exactly it.
Now,
But she's allowed to have her new partner around my daughter that they've only known each other 3 months.
yeah,
So
man.
it's
Um, yeah, man. How long have you been fighting this so far?
so
Oh, so
I
sorry.
applied back in February, so it's been about 4 or 5 months.
Okay. Now, how much money have you spent so far?
£1,700.
70. Oh, Jesus, man.
£1,700 that is. And plus mediation. I tried to do mediation first of all, which the courts in the UK advised the parents to speak to, like, go to like a mediator person to try and work things out. I paid for all that, and she said she was going to do it, and then never turned up on the day and
Mm.
stuff. So it's pretty horrific.
But man, we definitely need to get some more attention on what's going over there in the UK. I've heard it's a lot worse in the States, actually.
Yeah, it's fucking this Kafkas people, these social services, they absolutely. Well, so 2 days ago, I got a text from my ex-partner saying I can see my daughter. I can go see her. I can have her for a couple of hours and take her to a player, and she'll pick her back up. So I've rang this Kafkas and said, like, out of good faith, and I said to them, "I'll just ringing you to let you know that my ex-partner's. We've been in contact, and you can come see her." I get up. She said, "I'm not allowed to give you no legal advice. I'm not trained in law." She
Right.
gets off the phone, rings my ex-partner straight up and says, "I advise you not to do that."
Mm.
But they're apparently not allowed to give no legal advice. So it's all up in the air. They're all liars. You get caught out and stuff. So,
Well, Bryce,
but
man, I appreciate you so much for joining us on here. I got a few guys coming up after you, but do me a favor really quick before we get out of here. Is there anything you'd like to say to your kids, man, while this is
I
going on?
absolutely miss her so much, and I love you to bits, Penny. Love her to bits. Love my daughter to absolute bits, and miss her terribly.
Gotcha, man. Hey, Bryce, man,
All
thank
right.
you for supporting the show. And
Daddy's thinking of you on Father's Day. Love you lots.
thank you, sir. All right, I'm going to bring on our next guest, Jack Fawcett. Jack, what
Hey,
state are you coming out of?
I'm coming from Maine in the U.S.
Awesome, man. So, yeah, we was going back in the chat a little bit. It says you've got an inspirational, you've got an uplifting story.
I hope so. I mean, I certainly
I
hope
hope
so.
so
And
too.
I got to tell you, my heart goes out to a lot of these dads who can't see their kids. I'm very lucky that as soon as we're done this interview, I get to go downstairs and have a pizza party with my kids. So that's something I definitely don't take for granted. So I have a really, really good story. I have 4 girls and 2 boys, and I have a lovely wife who's smart and very supportive, and we have a really kind of crazy life together. She's a lawyer and I'm a musician. And what's been great is that my kids and my wife really help direct me and to make that real and mean something. I think anybody who's a performer, if you're, an actor or a musician, you want to share something artistic that you do with the world, but that can also border into a negative of just trying to get people's attention. And then
Right.
it becomes, then it's just a selfish sort of thing. It's just, I want people to praise me, which
Yep.
is really not good. And having kids, first of all, meeting my wife, but mostly having kids, I think in that sense, really led me to go, okay, this isn't just some silly childish dream to be a musician, but if I've got kids now, I have to do this the right way, which means I need to abandon all of the childish parts of it that don't fit, that don't make sense, because now I'm responsible for these, tiny little humans. So because of that, I've actually been able to become a professional musician and do it the right way, and sort of again abandon all that extra bad stuff. And, then in 2015, we did, we have had our share of hard times. We had stillborn twins. We've had a number of miscarriages. And now, and this is something that was hard at first, but it turned into a positive. But we wound up in a situation where we were compelled to homeschool. It actually came upon pretty dramatically. We one day had to pull our daughter out of school and realized we can't send her back. She's not safe there. And that has become just incredible. I mean, doing homeschooling with them is, we're sharing knowledge and activities with them that I never would have imagined it could be like that. So for me, this has just been, they've given the responsibility of being a good husband and a good father has given my life the best direction, better than I ever could have imagined.
That's awesome, man. What kind of music do you play?
I'm a rock and blues guitarist primarily. I actually have a reasonably successful YouTube channel. I write my own songs. I do recordings with people, and I do gear review videos, talk videos, and things like that. So I'm able to do that from home, which also gives me a lot of time to spend with the kids. So
rock and roll was my first love, brother.
Nice. I have the only I have the only little kids in the state of Maine who have Pink Floyd sweatshirts, I think. So
that's awesome. Yeah, man. I left the music business as well to become a dad.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah,
good
man.
For you.
I miss parts of it, but it definitely wasn't a lifestyle, for being a father.
Well, and that's just it. And it's, there's the business side of it and trying to get in that. And that's just a bad news kind of thing. But one of the great things about the internet is now there's so many ways to be a musician that didn't exist before.
Yeah.
And so that's just opened up all kinds of doors that otherwise you'd still be trying to get, managers attention and booking agents attention and record label attention. That's really just a waste of energy. So
yeah, it's the age of independence.
Exactly. And I love it.
I do too, man. So obviously you got your kids with you, so you don't have to tell us on here, but just maybe on the way out before we go to the next guest, tell everybody what fatherhood means to you.
It's everything. It's given my life a purpose that it feels like this is what I was meant to do.
Yep. Absolutely. Hey, Jack, I appreciate you coming on here and sharing some of those words with us, man. And I hope you have a happy Father's Day, my man.
Thank you. You
What's
too.
What's the name of your channel? I want to hear it.
What's that?
What's the name of your channel? I'd like
Jack
to
Fawcett. It's my name. I like to keep things very, very simple.
There you
Simple
go.
And straightforward. Hey, and best of luck to all the dads who are struggling. I hope you get to see your kids, and I hope things work out for you.
Thanks, brother.
Absolutely.
See you, man. All right, guys. I am going to bring on our next guest. I recognize this name, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to say it right. Thijs van Tongeren.
Yeah.
Did I say it right? Was it close?
Thijs van Tongeren. Yeah, pretty close.
So tell us where you're coming out of.
I'm living in the Netherlands, and I'm a father of a son. He was born 6 years ago, and after the fourth day, I was kicked out of house. And ever since, I try to keep in touch with him. I did go to court about 7 times now, and I just received the last ruling, and they just keep it the same. I can see him 2 days in the 14 days.
Oh man.
And that that's how it is. And the last case I filed because I'm worried about his behavior because it is changing. But never, they said we have to keep it like it is to give him structure. And then I think that if there are troubles and he is in therapy, then something in the basis must be changed. But somehow they don't want to change it because then they can earn money by it.
Right. Tell us kind of what is the landscape of the family courts there in the Netherlands?
They make people believe they have a chance, but at the end they always lose. There's no rule of law. They just, for example, we don't have a constitutional court, so there's no one who checks if new laws are according to the basis. And judges are not allowed to check what they rule if this is in line with the law. So they can do anything without checking because they are not allowed to. And that made 95,000 children were placed out of home by the allowance affair. I am not involved in the allowance affair, but as an example. And now the government has collapsed over it, and now, but still, there are only about 3 children back with their parents. And at the other hand, our government and our newspapers say, oh, it's terrible, those kids who are separated from their parents in the United States. It's abuse that they are separated from their parents, but they do it here all the time, each day, each hour. More kids are just deported, and their names are changed. They completely are torn out of their own habitat.
Gotcha, man. Well, brother, I'm so sorry that that's going on over there. And you know, the sad thing is, you know, just as you saw a few minutes ago, we had on somebody from the UK, we've had on Canada, we have people from all over the world. It is a problem worldwide, and it's
the boy crisis.
It is.
It is the boy crisis, and I just heard your guest before, and he was talking about becoming a father, becoming a dad, what it has brought. I never could have imagined I would have been talking to you or with any other people I've been speaking to last 6 years, and it gave me a force I didn't have before to be a father and to stand for him and for all those other kids. And when he was talking about it, I was thinking about Warren Farrell, and in his TED talk, he's talking about a guy named John coming over and telling him about the men's group he was in, and it appeared to be John Lennon in the end, and so special that this all seems to be connected, but somehow people don't want to see it.
No, well, because they realize just how much work is attached to it, and I think most people just want to go about their day, and they don't really want to get involved. We're going to have to get our hands dirty on this, and this is something that I believe.
Exactly. It's so painful, even for family or friends. It's hard to talk about it because it hurts, and that's why people hide instead of show it.
Yeah. Let's see, just man, I've seen you around on the Dad Talk pages and stuff for quite a while now, so it's good to be able to put a face with it. And I recognize a lot of you guys. You've been hanging around and going through this for a while. Really quick before I let you out of here, what is something you'd like to let your kids know on Father's Day?
That they are the best thing ever happened to me, and I'm glad to be their dad.
Yeah, man. Brother, I would not be surprised if we don't find ourselves over there at some point. You know, the Dad Talk today is a show that I want to end, and hopefully, if we can change the system, it can end. But if it changes in America, that doesn't mean the work is over. We've got a lot of work to do, man. So,
but I think when it starts, just like Me Too, it's Me Too stopped there. And it should go on just that, because our children need this protection.
Absolutely. I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
Hey, brother.
Thank you for doing what you do.
Yeah, man. And happy Father's Day to you.
Yeah, to you too. And to all other fathers.
Thank you, sir. All right, guys. At this time, I want to bring on my next guest. This is a very near and dear, close person to me. I'd like to consider a really good friend, one of my best friends, actually. And I met him through doing this, Mr. Jonathan Vanderhagen. I know he's out on vacation right now, riding roller coasters. I'm a little jealous. But what's been going on, man?
Just work, music, art, a little bit of fun here and there.
Yeah. So this would be what, your sixth Father's Day without Killian?
Yeah, I think so. 5 or 6.
I hate to even bring this up, Jonathan, but for the people that's watching, I want them to understand this. These are emotions that, unless you've been there, a lot of people wouldn't understand. And what's that like when Father's Day comes around and you don't have your son there with you?
It's not a good feeling. I mean, I miss him. I don't know. It's a day I like to sleep.
Day you like to sleep. I can understand that one, man. I think, I didn't want to get you on here to go back through all the bad emotions or any of that, by no means, but more or less to celebrate, even though, Killian passed away in 2017, you've never gave up. We was just earlier this year shooting that documentary about his life and trying to fight for him, man. And, I know it's got to be a challenging time for you, but I just wanted to make sure that you were recognized, because it's still Father's Day. I know Killian's looking down on you and proud of you, man, and everything that you've been doing. I know there's a lot of emotions attached with that, where you probably doubt yourself with that sometimes, but I don't want you to do that.
I try not to. It's a battle every day. But there's positive things that happen. I mean, like being at Cedar Point yesterday, yeah, I missed him and I wish he was there, but I feel like a part of him was there because Cedar Point has this like whole Snoopy, Charlie Brown kind of theme going. So
Yeah.
even though he's not there, I went and bought him some Snoopies at the end of the day and got some stuff for him.
It was a healthy
I tried
distraction.
to have fun for him,
Yeah. Did you get to go with a bunch of friends?
Just my one friend.
That's a good friend, man. I'm glad he got you out of the house.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I probably would have been on one through the weekend, but got to have a little excitement and fun.
Yeah. I don't want to keep you on here too long, Jonathan. Do you have anything that you would like to say to any of the fathers that are alienated or going through these issues right now? Is there any words of encouragement that you could give out to them?
I try to keep your head up and keep fighting because at the end of the day, like, in your heart that you want to see your child, and for whatever reason, someone's keeping it from you, and your child needs to know the truth. Your child needs, like, sadly, I'm sure, like, because I dealt with it too, but my child couldn't talk at the time, like, it ate at me when I was like searching for my kid and trying to be a part of his life. And I doubted myself all the time, thinking like, man, he must think like I hate him and I don't want to see him or something. So, like, I get it, like, these children are alienated from you, and then they're just children. They don't understand what's going on. They just know that you're not there. But find a way to, like, it sucks because it's usually the court system that's like getting in the way, or a bitter parent, but find a way to keep your head up and like try to remind your kid that you do love them and that you're fighting for them, and not give up, because I mean, they need you. And one day, like, they're going to know the truth, and they're going to know that you continue to fight for them. And I mean, that's all I pray for all the time, is that my son can look down and know the truth, and know that, like, through all that mess, that where I wasn't there, I was searching for him every day. I was trying to be a part of his life, like, and I so badly wanted to tell him that in words, but when I seen him in the end, like, he can't talk, he's just a baby, but I know the excitement he's seen, like, he knew that I loved him, and I just, I don't know, that's what my faith in God is. Like, I hope that, like, he recognizes everything. That's something that eats me up because I mean we believe in God and the afterlife, but we don't know for sure. So that's just something I try to keep high hopes of, that it is real and that he can look down on all this and know that like your dad's went through hell trying to fight for you. And even on my worst days, I try not to give up on him. So it's hard, and I get it where a lot of dads just feel like hopeless and they just feel like giving up because no matter how hard they try, there's always a roadblock or someone standing in the way when all they want is time with their child. So you gotta try to like push past that and keep going, keep fighting because I mean like if your child's still alive, it's still worth fighting for. And I mean, even though my child's gone, like I still try to fight for him because I mean, the kid needs a voice. And for the kids that are still around, you know, like one day they're gonna know the truth. They're gonna grow older. So as a father, like don't give up. Like just keep going, and one day it's gonna get better. I know it gets dark before it gets better, but there's a saying that there's always a storm before the rainbow. And I
Absolutely.
believe that. So, I mean, you just got to try to keep your head up.
But brother, I don't want to keep you in here too long and everything. I just want to appreciate you, say I appreciate you, and one, for being in my life. And I definitely gained a friend out of all this, even though there's tragedy. There is some positives in it. Before I let you go, what would you like to say on Father's Day in honor of Killian? I'm going to end the show with this. What's some words you'd like to leave in honor of Killian?
I love you, kiddo. Hey. I don't even have the right words for it, but like, I miss you so much, Killian. And I wish life would have happened differently. That's something that like eats up your dad, but I can't change that. But I hope you know, like, you're literally the most special thing in my life. You always have been. You always will be, and I'll never give up on you. And I hope you're dancing up there, and I hope you see everything I do for you, and I hope you know I've tried to use our pain to help other people because I believe in you and I believe in change and I just hope everything I've done has helped you in some sort of way to know how much your dad loves you. And I can't even put it in the words how much I miss you, buddy.
That was good, brother. That was good, man. I tell you, Jonathan, I'm gonna let you get back to what you was doing, man. But I appreciate you for coming on here, and you guys be safe on your way home.
I appreciate you too, Eric, man. You do a lot for these families and kids, and I'm very grateful that you've continued this long after to just still try to keep my son's memory alive.
We'll never stop.
You're a good man, and I hope one day you get to see your daughter and things pan out for you because you've definitely put in the work to fight for these families. That doesn't go unnoticed at all.
I appreciate it, brother.